Uma, have you live streamed this already Zoom? Uma, have you live streamed this already?
Yes. I'm speaking. Yes, it is live in YouTube.
Yeah. So now first one, we have Premalata and we have FOP 11. So I think Premalata is the one who is the co-host, I think, right? Uma?
Who is FOP 11?
Yeah, who is this FOP 11? You have to let me know. And Vidya madam has joined, I think.
Yeah, I'm making. Am I not audible?
You're audible. Vidya madam, good morning.
Good morning. Sir, very good.
Madam, who are the people whom have to be given the host and co-host? You let me know. Uma has joined, so Uma will make the co-hosts.
Yeah, sir. Prema needs to be given. Tanushree, Dr. Mubin ma'am, and myself, sir. And if
Tanushree
at all
has joined.
joins,
Tanushree has joined. Vidya madam, Tanushree has joined.
Yeah, sir. Tanushree is already there. Tanushree and Prema has joined.
I think FOP is Tanushree then.
I think FOP is what Tanushree is.
Okay. Make co-host FOP. And Premlata has joined. Mubin has to join.
Premlata is already there.
Yeah, Mubin has to join, I think.
Mubin ma'am has to join, sir.
And anyone else, madam? Almas has to join.
And principal said if he is joining him, then we have to give him a co-host.
Yeah, so let's not share this link to others because others people join, then it will be a lot of confusions. So let's not share these links to outsiders. Only the speakers and co-host will have this access.
Sure, sir.
Uma, ask Almas to join the call and check all the people's mic and video is working nicely.
Priya ma'am, we are starting the session by 10:30, right?
Yes.
10:30, but we have given the live link because we can share the live link. So already live link is ready. We whatever we are talking, I think it's already live in YouTube. So we can share this with the students immediately. Uma, share the YouTube link immediately in the mail and WhatsApp.
Yes, I'm doing that right away.
And you can share the screen and put the poster in your desktop, Uma.
Just allow me a moment.
And Vidya madam, can you ask Mubin madam and I think one more person has to join. So from your side to join the meeting so that we can check once again.
I'll check with Mubin ma'am, sir. I think only Mubin ma'am is pending from Alamin side.
From our side, Almas has to join. I'll ask Almas to join immediately.
Yeah, from our side, Mubin ma'am. I'll just check it out with Mubin ma'am.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Ma'am,
Yes,
am
you
I
are
audible?
audible. You are audible. You are audible. You're audible. Uma Almas has joined. Can you make her co-host? Uma, can you make Almas as co-host?
Yeah, I'm making. Just a minute.
Yeah, Tanushri, your voice is audible. Preplata, madam, you can talk and check your voice is audible or not. And
good morning,
yeah,
sir.
good morning. I think your voice is also audible. I think
Good morning,
Almas.
everyone. This is Almas. I hope I am audible.
Perfect.
Yeah, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone's voice is audible and we are in live now. We'll wait for Vidya madam and Mobin to join, and then we'll start sharply 10 o'clock. We have already started sharing the YouTube link to the students group.
Morning, everybody.
Uma, Vidya madam has joined. Can you make Vidya madam as co-host? Vidya madam, we have everyone. Only Mobin madam has to join.
Sir, I'm trying her mobile is also not getting connected. I'll just check one more time, sir. I was just switching from mobile to laptop.
No,
So
I think Mobin madam has joined. Can you make co-host Uma? Mobin madam is trying to join. She has not joined with audio, but she has joined only with video. So I think if she joins, then all is set. Yeah, Mobin madam has joined now. You can make co-host Uma. Mobin madam, you are able to talk. You can unmute and try to talk to Mobin madam. Mobin madam, your voice is on mute. You have to unmute and talk. Madam, unmute. Unmute. You have an unmute button. You have to unmute and then you can able to talk. Vidya madam, can you let Mobin madam to know that she's on mute?
Yeah, sir. I'll do so.
Pujo. Hello, good morning, everyone.
Ma'am, good morning. You were on mute.
Morning, ma'am.
I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're
Yes,
audible. Good
now
morning,
it is
sir.
audible.
Am I
Now
audible?
it is audible. Yeah, audible.
No.
Alama.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are
madam, you are audible. You are audible.
Hello, Tanushri. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You are
you are audible.
Ma'am, you are very much audible. You are very much audible.
No,
We can
I
hear
think
you.
her speaker sound is zero, Vidya madam. You have to call her and let her know.
Huh?
Her speaker volume is low, I think. She is unable to hear us.
I'll tell her. हाँ sir, हाँ sir.
So, Dr. Tanushri, I think you are going to host this all activities, I think. The list of activities.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if we could have a dry run, I'll just tell the sequence and then it will be because all are there.
Yes,
so
yes.
if
Anyone is sharing the screen, you just let me know. As of now, 3 people will be sharing the screen. One is me, one is Uma, one is Almas. Okay, all 3 people will share the screens by ourselves. Apart from this, anyone else is sharing, you just let us know. Because sharing the screen is a little bit challenging. Rest of all things, we can manage it.
No, I don't think anybody else is sharing the screen, sir.
Yeah.
They are just giving speeches, so sharing of the screen is not there.
Perfect. So anyone who is unable to introduce or something like that, you jump in and you introduce and we'll continue. We'll not wait for anyone to introduce or something like that. We'll
sure,
jump
sir.
in and we'll continue the sessions.
Yes, just I'll have a dry run. Premlata is also there, so because she will be introducing. So I'll just say the event run one more time. If any changes are required, we can do that, sir.
Yes.
So I will be just starting with a few lines and then I'll call Dr. Vidya to deliver the welcome speech. After that, it is Dr. Mubin ma'am who will be delivering the IIC thing. Then I'll be calling Principal Sir to say, if Principal Sir is not there, by chance if we don't see him joining in, then I will just directly call Dr. Premnath Shenoy to talk about today's seminar and open the session. After that, Premlata will start introducing Miss Uma Priya. She will be introducing Uma Priya ma'am, and she will only tell Uma Priya ma'am to continue the session. It will not come back to me. Is it clear, Premlata?
Yes. So she has to just introduce and hand it over to Uma. She'll already share the screen during introduction only and she'll continue the session. Yeah. So once that Uma ma'am's thing is done, then I will come in and I will introduce the second speaker, that is Almas ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Right. After that, I will only tell Almas ma'am to continue. After her speech is over, then again Premlata will come in. I will call Premlata to introduce you, sir. And after your introduction means after that, she will again directly tell you to do the speech. And then after that, we'll have the question answer session followed by Dr. Vidya's vote of thanks. Perfect. Okay, sir.
Sir, Mujib sir, both of them are Dr. Uma Priya and Dr. Almas Syed or Mrs.
No. Both are not doctors.
So I can call them Mrs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. That would be the overall thing, sir.
Tanu, after I finish, do I need to hand over to you or you'll take it up by yourself, right?
No, you hand over to me. Once you finish, you just say over to you, Tanushri.
I know.
From there.
So I'll hand over back to you.
Yeah, sure.
No worries, madam. We have another half an hour of time. Smoothly, we can have a glass of water and coffee and we can start sharply by 10:30.
I think so,
People
sir.
will join by 10:30.
Yeah, sir.
Mujib said, we are responsible daughter-in-laws. Okay, we are at our in-laws place. We have to cook, not eat.
Good one, yeah. Good one.
Yeah. Uma, can you share your screen and put
we
the
can
poster?
do Swiggy and sit.
Yeah. Uma, share your screen and put the poster on the screen quickly. Yeah, have the screen as it is. Then we'll start the session by 10:30. We can hold it on mute, everyone. So sharply by 9 10:30 we'll start the session and we'll allow people to join in YouTube.
Sure, sir.
Hi, Tanushri, all set?
Yes, ma'am, all set. I've
uh,
done everything now. So everything
no, actually, yeah, I know. Principal sir is not joining?
he has another FDP. I also have registered for that, but I don't know
Yeah,
how.
wait, even I have registered. I thought I'll just attend also.
Yeah, so I don't know, ma'am. So I have to just check whether he has joined or not.
Yeah.
So that's how.
Uh-huh.
If he
So you'll be doing comparing, no?
yes, ma'am. I'll be the host of the thing, ma'am. So
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
that is how.
Mm. Hello, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Yeah, Tanushi.
Ji, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We are starting. We are starting at 10:30. No, sharp.
Yeah, ma'am. 10:30 sharp.
Okay.
30, ma'am. 30.
Okay.
Yeah, 10:30 will start sharply.
10:30, Mubin ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. It is 10 now.
Yeah, it is 10.
Uma Salahuddin sir has joined. Make him co-host.
Mujib, I have session at 10:30 only. I may not be able to join it. I just joined. I had some time just to see the preparation. Okay, so all is set.
Yes,
Hope
all the dry run is been done. All the
might
speakers have joined.
Okay, just check with Dr. Premnath Shinoy sir also. We have to invite him also. Vidya madam, please see that Dr. Premnath also joins.
Yeah, sir. I have messaged to him, sir. A reminder message. I'll
Yeah.
just do once again, sir.
You just give a call to him also. Just remind him that, sir, you can join at 10:30 exactly. You just he is very punctual in joining. Just remind him with a call, madam.
Yeah, sir. I'll do right away now, sir.
Okay. All the
Yes.
best to the team for the success. Huge numbers, 1,800 registrations.
Yeah, sir.
So I'll try to join in the beginning. It's not at around 11:30 will be joined. No?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mm.
Vidya madam, once again, you please check to join for this IPA president, madam.
Mujib sir, please come again, sir. I was with Premnath sir. I was speaking. He told he'll join by 10:25.
Okay, done.
Huh?
Done,
He
done.
told that he'll join by 10:25.
10:20, 10:25 if he joins. You just coordinate for the introduction and then sessions will take care, madam.
Yeah, sir. No issues.
Yeah.
Sir, has Premnath sir joined, sir? Premnath Shanaik sir? And can we start?
Yeah, we'll start sharply by 10:30, madam.
Okay, sir. Another 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, another 2-3 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Madam, we can start, madam.
Yeah, okay, sir. I'll be starting, sir.
Yeah.
A very good morning to one and all present. Myself, Dr. Tanushree Chakravarti, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, extend a warm welcome to all the participants and the dignitaries. Al-Amin College of Pharmacy is continuously on the lookout for upgrading the quality of its education and actively contributes in research and has been a pioneer institution when it comes to pharma education. Al-Amin College of Pharmacy has a vision of grooming arena for better individuals and pharmacists. Hence, keeping in trend with its quest to unleash the power of education, Al-Amin College of Pharmacy, in association with Indian Pharmaceutical Association and Clinosol, presents to you all the one-day seminar on harnessing the power of AI and machine learning in clinical research and pharmacovigilance. Before we start, I would like to quote Dr. Albert Einstein. According to him, You can't solve a problem on the same level that it was created. You have to rise above to the next level. And AI is the next level. So, without wasting much of your time, I take the onus to call upon Dr. Vidya, Professor, Head of the Department, Pharmacy Practice, to welcome our dignitaries and participants for the thing. Over to you, Dr. Vidya.
Good morning, one and all. Thanks, dear Tanushree. A warm, sunny, very good morning to one and all. I, Dr. Vidya Tirmurthy, Professor and Head of the Department of Pharmacy Practice, Alamin College of Pharmacy, is feeling immensely happy to give this welcome note for today's national seminar titled Harnessing the Power of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning in Clinical Research and Pharmacovigilance, organized by Alamin College of Pharmacy in association with IPA Karnataka branch and Clinosol Research Private Limited. We are very much overwhelmed by the massive registration number, which is almost close to 2,000 from in and around the country as well as outside the country. So our institute, Alamin College of Pharmacy in Bangalore, is established in 1983 under the aegis of Alamin Educational Society, and we are very much committed to excellence in pharmaceutical education and research, striving to meet the evolving needs of the healthcare industry. Today's seminar is a testament to our commitment towards exploring cutting-edge technologies like AI and ML, which are transforming the landscape of clinical research as well as pharmacovigilance. I am very much honored to welcome Dr. Premnath Shenoy sir, President, IPA, Karnataka branch. We welcome you, sir, on behalf of Alamin College of Pharmacy and Clinosol Research. I am extremely happy to welcome the today's eminent speakers, Dr. Mujibuddin, founder and CEO, Clinosol Research Private Limited. We welcome you, sir. Mrs. Uma Priya, co-founder and director, Clinosol Research Private Limited. We welcome you, ma'am. Mrs. Alma Sayat, training consultant, Clinosol Research Private Limited. We welcome you, ma'am. It's my pleasure to welcome our principal, Dr. Salahuddin sir, Vice Principal, Dr. Mubin ma'am, all other faculty of Alamin College of Pharmacy who are merely responsible for this webinar today. I extend my warm welcome to all the delegates, students, faculty members of various institutes in the country and out of the country who have registered for this seminar. Being a weekend, this registration is showing us how all are interested in updating their knowledge. Let us make this opportunity to learn more and more and all these new techniques. I welcome you all once again. Thank you. Over to you, Tanushree.
Thank you, Dr. Vidya. I would like to welcome the Vice President of Institution Innovation Council, that is IIC, of Alamin College of Pharmacy, our dynamic Vice Principal, ma'am, Dr. Mubin Ghani, to enlighten us about the Institution Innovation Council. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Tanushree. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes. Good morning to all. A warm welcome to our Principal Sir, Dr. Premnath Shenoy sir, speakers of today's webinar, Mr. Mujibuddin, Ms. Almas, Ms. Uma, and all my colleagues and my dear participants for today's webinar on harnessing the power of AI and ML in clinical research and pharmacovigilance, organized by Institution Innovation Council of Alamin College of Pharmacy in association with Clinosol Research Private Limited and Indian Pharmaceutical Association IPA. I would like to give a brief introduction on IIC. Institution Innovation Council is a program that has been launched by the Ministry of Education through a Ministry of Education Innovation Cell in collaboration with AICTE for higher educational institutions to systematically foster the culture of innovation and startup ecosystem in educational institutions. The aim of ISC is to engage large number of faculty, students, staff in various innovation, entrepreneurship related activities such as ideation, problem solving, design thinking, IPR, project handling, and management at pre-incubation and incubation stage. So ISC, Institution Innovation Council of Al-Amin College of Pharmacy, was formed in February 2022, and since then we have been conducting many activities throughout the year. The vision and mission of Institution Innovation Council of Al-Amin College of Pharmacy is to establish innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem and to foster the spirit of innovation among students and young researchers and to create entrepreneurship opportunities for our students, faculty, research scholars by providing them necessary support and guidance. We have been actively involved in conducting many activities to fulfill our vision and mission. We have conducted number of motivational sessions, workshops on IPR, prototype designing, business model canvas, funding, and on many on startup and innovation, and also on research. Today, Institution Innovation Council of Al-Amin College of Pharmacy have organized this webinar on harnessing the power of AI and ML in clinical research and pharmacovigilance in association with Clinosol Research Private Limited and Indian IPA. I welcome Dr. Premnath Shanai sir, President, IPA Karnataka branch, and the speakers of today's webinar, and hope that today's webinar will enlighten all our participants with the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning in clinical research and pharmacovigilance, and also will give an insight on various career and networking opportunities in this field. I welcome all the participants and request them to be very attentive during the session. And I hope that all the participants are eagerly waiting for the session to start. So without taking much time, I end this. I thank our principal sir, Premnath Shanai sir, and the Clinosol team, and Dr. Vidya, Dr. Tanushi, Mrs. Premlata, and all my colleagues for arranging this wonderful webinar. Thank you one and all. Over to you, Tanushri.
Thank you, ma'am. It gives me immense pleasure to invite our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Premnath Shanai sir, President, IPA Karnataka branch, to share his views on today's seminar and announce the commencement of today's session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Good morning to you all. I'm very happy to be part of this webinar on harnessing of power of AI and ML in the areas of pharmacovigilance and clinical trials. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Salahuddin, Principal of Al-Amin College of Pharmacy, for teaming up with IPA Karnataka State Branch for this program. It's really heartening to see most apt and developing hot topics are being chosen for the benefit of the student community. And it's really heartening to note that almost 2,000 students have registered and they are attending this particular webinar. It just shows the kind of interest the student community has in this area. Global pharmaceutical companies have long been in the forefront of artificial intelligence. Even before recent explosion of interest, researchers were applying complex AI models to unlock the mechanism of diseases. More efficient clinical trials, quicker regulatory approvals, ultra-targeted marketing materials generated in-house are some of the applications of AI in the pharmaceutical industry. Generative AI is transforming nearly all aspects of the pharmaceutical industry, revamping the way companies operate and potentially unlock billions of dollars in value, economic value. Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence technology that can produce various types of content, including text, imagery, audio, and synthetic data. Recently, The McKinsey Global Institute has estimated that this technology could generate $60 to $110 billion a year in economic value for the pharma and medical devices industries. Largely because it can boost productivity by accelerating the process of identifying compounds for possible new drugs, spending their development and approval, and improving the way they are marketed. With compelling new generative AI use cases emerging, based on over 63 generative AI use cases in the life sciences industry, McKinsey's Global Institute has calculated the potential economic impact for the 5 different industry domains. Which are these domains? Research and early discovery, from 15 to 28 billion US dollars. Clinical development, 13 to 25 billion US dollars. And operations, that is manufacturing related areas, manufacturing as well as supply chain, 4 to 7 billion. Commercial, that is, which includes marketing, about 18 to 30 billion US dollars. And of course, medical affairs, 3 to 5 billion US dollars. This is overall about 80 to 115 billion US dollars of economic value is going to be harnessed from this particular technology. However, we need to keep in mind harnessing this powerful new technology, of course, will not be easy. Executives will have to grapple with tricky strategic decisions and operational challenges in an uncharted landscape marked by fast-changing technology and emerging risks. Moreover, we need to move from hype to reality. Before pharma companies can seize the opportunities generative AI presents, leaders in the industry must step back and understand exactly what it can and it cannot do. In other words, differentiate the reality of generative AI from the hype that has come to surround it. I will just share with you a couple of most powerful misconceptions business leaders have, and of course, the entire pharma industry personnel as well as the teaching professionals have about this technology. The first hype is generative AI will instantly affect every part of the organization. But the reality is, as with any digital transformation, leaders must apply an end-to-end lens and prioritize only the applications that make sense for overall business goals. The leaders must create a strategic roadmap to ensure that they are optimizing the overall impact. Another hype about generative AI is generative AI on its own will deliver the bulk of the value to be created. But the reality is, this being a disruptive moment for the entire field of artificial intelligence, not for Gen AI alone. Traditional analytical AI models, such as those currently used to promote stakeholder engagement and help diagnose diseases, will continue to capture value. The difference is that generative AI applications will significantly enhance their capabilities. Recently, I was listening to an interview of global CEO of Novartis in CNBC channel. When he was asked about the use of AI in the pharma industry, he opined that it may take another 10 years at least for the pharma industry to substantially benefit from the applications of AI and GAI. So mostly, this is currently a work in process. With this brief introduction, I'm sure in this webinar, the eminent speakers are going to explain to you about the basics of AI and ML and its use in pharmacovigilance and clinical trials and how it is helping to improve these two domains of the pharmaceutical industry. And with this, I will end my talk and wish you all a very happy learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your talk. I would now request Dr. Premlata, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmacy Practice, to introduce our first speaker, Mrs. Uma Priya Ma'am, co-founder and director, Clinosol Research. Over to you, Premlata.
Thank you, Tanushree ma'am. Good morning, one and all. I, Premalata, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmacy Practice, Alamein College of Pharmacy. With immense pleasure, I would like to introduce Ms. Uma Priya ma'am, MSc MBA, co-founder and director, Clinosol Research Private Limited. Ms. Uma ma'am, I had a long career in the healthcare and clinical research industry. Starting off as a junior research assistant, she had worked her way up the ladder, taking on increasingly challenging roles and eventually becoming a lead in several projects. Each of these projects was a success, as she had implemented various quality control standards to ensure patient safety and efficient clinical process developments. 4 years ago, she co-founded Clinosol Research with Mr. C.S. Mujibuddin Sir, the founder and CEO. She was actively involved in the overall process and quality standard implantations, helping Clinosol becoming an India's leading clinical research training and standard and resource consulting organization since its inception. During this time, she was instrumental in helping over 1,000 students achieve their dream careers in the clinical research industry. Over the years, Ms. Uma ma'am has been recognized for her achievements as an emerging women entrepreneur in the skill in development industry. Her motivations and support have helped many students come out of low self-esteem and reach their goals with confidence. She has been an inspiration to many and will continue to be for many more years to come. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Premlata, for that wonderful introduction of mine. Thanks a lot to Alamein College of Pharmacy, especially to Dr. Salahuddin sir, Mubin ma'am, Vidya, and all the team, especially IPA Karnataka branch, Dr. Shenai sir. I'm just sharing my screen. If someone can let me know my screen is visible, then you can go ahead. Is my screen visible? Can someone confirm me?
Yes, ma'am, you are visible.
It's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you so much. So we had a wonderful start with all the good speakers, keynote speakers. Shenai sir has already discussed some of the key areas where AI ML are included in our healthcare as well as clinical trial areas. We are going to see for the next 30 minutes how we are going to use our artificial intelligence and machine learning in clinical research as well as clinical trials. Before I could start, I would like to start with a short story which everybody knows here. We all are from pharma or life science backgrounds, right? So probably when I speak with students, they say that they have taken this course as a chance. By chance they have taken, but not by chance. Most of the students, I'm not speaking about all. But today with this seminar with me, Almas and Mujib sir's session, you will be really feeling positive vibe about why you have taken up this career and what is your future, how it's going to be. Because as sir has mentioned, AI has just started post-COVID and it is going to rule this industry going forward. So we all know that we have studied Newton's laws, right? What speaks the law of gravitation, universal gravitation, is when a fruit falls from the tree, the magnetic force of the earth grabs it, right? We all know this theory. What is new in this? The new here is the idea behind it, how the fruit has fallen onto the ground, why it is not staying in the air. The question, the mentality of questioning has given the answer. The very same way, when we speak about research, any kind of research, it starts with a basic question, basic inquiry, how it has happened, and why. This question of why leads to the next steps, especially in our healthcare. We are not using apples, we are not eating apples, but we are testing the new drugs on the subjects or on the patient community, right? I want this to be an interactive session. So if I'm putting a question to you, I request you all to respond in the chat box. You are given permissions to respond in the chat boxes. You can write your answers over there. If at all you have any questions, please post your questions. Time to time, our team will be capturing those. And at the time of Q&A, we'll be taking up those questions for you. Right. So when we are speaking about clinical research, what is clinical research? Clinical research is a set of wide range of activities that are planned to answer a specific question. Here in clinical research, it's a health question. And what are clinical trials? Clinical trials are the systematical studies to assess the safety, efficacy of the new medicinal approaches, medications, devices, vaccines, whatever you name it. For anything, the word is clinical research. Okay. Do we really need clinical trials? Yes, of course we need. We have seen how clinical trials have really helped us overcoming lots of illnesses, lots of diseases, which were not possible earlier to cure. Now we have solutions to most of the health illnesses, right? What are the challenges in traditional clinical research or clinical trials? Basically, what happens is you have to first take the consent from the subject before you could initiate any clinical trial. We all know that we have different phases of clinical trials, and each phase of clinical trial involves a set of objective or aim, right, from safety, efficacy, and long-standing adverse effects or side effects. We do all these studies in different phases that we know, phase 0 to phase 3. And when it goes to the market, we are calling that as post-marketing surveillance. That doesn't come under our clinical research because we are not putting the patient inside a controlled environment. So when we are speaking about patient or subject, recruiting the subjects is really a difficult task. We have lots of disease burden. We have different medications across the globe that are coming every now and then how we can find a suitable person to test our drug on? That is the biggest challenge earlier. The data collection. Now we have EDC systems, electronic data capturing systems, but earlier days we used to collect every data on the papers. Papers are very valuable, but at the same point in time, very sensitive also because they are prone to, theft. They can, the data can be manipulated. You can strike off, you can write anything. We cannot see who has manipulated the data. We cannot find out who has manipulated the data. This is a difficult task. And you have to store all the records in a secure drive every time. Maintaining all the bundles of records is the biggest challenge. Operational efficiency. When we speak about complex logistics or, the trial supplies and all, it is one more time a bigger challenge. The tracking, we may lose the tracking sometimes. And generating meaningful insights. If you do not capture the data properly, you cannot make any decisions based on the analysis report. You cannot get a proper analysis report, and making decisions would be difficult. And it is a time-consuming process. We all know that drug development is a very, very time-taking process, including the clinical trials. Now we have artificial intelligence and machine learning. But before we speak about artificial intelligence and machine learning, I just would like to give a little introduction about artificial intelligence. Do not think that these are big words. These are very, very simpler terms. Artificial intelligence is nothing but our capability, the capability of a machine to imitate the human being. in its behavior or in its intelligence. It means to say that we have created the artificial intelligence. If we have created, definitely we'll be able to work on that. So do not think that artificial intelligence is a big term we cannot learn. It is not as such. Okay. And we are speaking about AML all the time, but we do not know who has coined these terms or who has used these terms for the first. The person who has coined the term artificial intelligence or the father of AI is John McCarthy. He is an American computer scientist and he has coined this term way back in 1955. We might be hearing artificial intelligence or machine learning very recently, but it has started in 1950s itself. And the father of machine learning is called Arthur Samuel. He is an IBM employee and he has invented the problem solving capacity or the decision making capacity of these artificial machines or the computers in the year 1959. So when you look back, the scientists have started working on artificial intelligence, how the humans can give their intelligence to a machine or to a computer in 1950s itself. So as we can see on the screen, how we can use artificial intelligence or the tools are to write complex logics where human brains are really limited. We can key in the algorithms to the computer. Based on that, it can give us the inputs and decision making would be easier based on those inputs. And artificial intelligence has a capacity to read larger data sets that is really impossible for a human to read in a fraction of seconds or minutes. And during COVID, we have seen everybody was wearing smartwatches, wearable devices, and we were monitoring pulse oximeters were there, pulse oxy monitors. We were monitoring the oxygen saturations. We were monitoring the pulse rate. We were monitoring the temperatures and all. How it has happened is with the artificial intelligence technology itself. What artificial intelligence can do in clinical trials? It can improve the efficiency of the trial, right from the patient recruitment. If a patient has to be recruited in a clinical trial, how we will come to know that where is that patient pool exactly lying there. When the hospitals key in all the data to the computer systems, AI can read from those health records and it can give the exact matched patient to the site that this is an exact match. We can now go and contact that patient and see whether the patient is interested in this particular study or not. Data collection. So we have different tools from where we can capture all the data across the globe within just a few clicks, and you can analyze the data and you can take informed decisions. As I said, we can use artificial intelligence in patient recruitment and patient retention. These two are the biggest challenges in clinical trials because when you speak about the risks that are going to happen in the clinical trial, nobody would be interested in taking the part. So recruiting a subject is a toughest challenge. First, finding the correct pool and then recruiting them, explaining them all the risks and benefits of the trial and taking their voluntary consent and taking them into the clinical trials is the biggest challenge. Even after you have recruited, one more challenge is retaining the subject in the study because once they start getting the adverse events, they may drop. And as per GCP and all our regulatory guidelines, we should not be forcing any subject to stay back in the study, or we should not be subjecting any person to participate in the study. Everything has to happen voluntarily with free consent. But with artificial intelligence, we can do predictive modeling where we can find out the suitable candidates for the clinical trials, which improves the recruitment rates, the timelines will be reduced, the cost will be reduced over here. And personalized support. We have lots of chatbots where even we are monitoring whether the subject has taken the tablet or not will be monitored by the video assisted devices or wearables, wherein the subject has to just turn on the screen while taking the pill. And we have smart capsules also. Once it is taken, the pill has been consumed by the participant or the subject. It gives the information to the system that this pill has been taken by the subject. This is how we can make sure the compliance of drug intake also through the AI-assisted devices or wearables. And we can also engage with the subjects using the digital tools. We can monitor the subjects' safety concerns. We can monitor the health through these mobile applications, and we can time to time monitor the subject's health, and we can make decisions based on that. When we come to data collection and analysis, data is the biggest part of clinical trials. Without data, we cannot say that the drug is a promising drug, right? So how we are doing this data collection from AI logics is, first we are integrating the sensors of the wearable devices to a cloud-based systems where all the data is being collected, and from that systems, we can detect if there are any discrepancies in the data. We can analyze, we can particularly check out what is missing and how we can fill those gaps. If any patient has gone out from the study, it is difficult to again recollect the data, re-recruit the subject. The flow will be misled somewhere. In those cases, the re-recruitment is also possible very quickly with the use of AI technologies, and this data will be very, very accurate when compared to human data entry. And AI is also very much useful in drug discovery and development, especially we know the process, how it happens. First, we try to identify the target. So in that area, what are the potential drugs? AI algorithms can detect what is the potential targeted drug and analyzes the largest data sets and gives us the accurate results, what is a promising agent. Then you can use in silico trials where it is AI powered these days, can accelerate how you are refining the drug candidates and how you are implementing the trial designs, which are really complex these days. Especially post-COVID, the timelines have reduced and the disease burden is more. In that scenario, clinical trial design has become so complex. We have complex protocol designs where our artificial intelligence is giving cost-effective drug development strategies to the researchers. All right. Where else AI can be used? AI is used to expedite the treatment process, especially when you feed lots of images to the AI system. It tries to analyze the data from the images and it can identify the tumor sizes with machine learning algorithms, and it will analyze the results very quickly. And you can see on the screen, Google Health is such an example, which is a really promising technology that is making the radiologist's job very easily, especially in identifying the cancers, its growth, and the disease progression and disease remission. What is the future of clinical trials with AI and ML? We can use AML for personalized medicine, especially in clinical trials. Every individual is different, right? When you give a drug to a particular subject, particular patient, it will not be acting the very same way in every individual. So in this scenario, we are using personalized medicine option with AML, where the programs will be fed to the machine to identify individual characteristics and the needs, and based on that, it will be suggesting which one is suitable for that particular subject or the patient. We are predictive model is nothing but you are predicting what is the outcome in the earlier stages itself with the data keyed in appropriately. And one more biggest topic is the real world evidence. Nowadays, it's a very buzzword in the world, in the clinical research market, that you have to only capture the real world data, which is happening, and it is very huge in amounts. Everyone posts in the internet, right? You have to understand whether the posted content is accurate or not. That is where artificial intelligence systems come into picture. They verify the data and they give the accurate data from the real world studies. When we speak about ethical considerations, we already follow lots of regulations and guidelines which have been given by the ICH, WHO, FDA, and all such regulatory agencies, right? But when it comes to artificial intelligence, we have to be more keen about the safety, data privacy, and if we are not inputting the data properly, it may give us the adverse results. So ethical considerations are into picture. Now we are using A6R2 still in the industry, the ICH guidelines, but now we are coming up with R3. R3 focuses more on data safety, data privacy, and data security. So once it comes into life, we will be focusing more about using the AI systems in the real world. What are the new technologies that we are using currently in the clinical trials are the virtual trials. Now, no subject has to come to the clinical trial site, especially post-COVID. This has been reduced drastically. No subject needs to come to the hospital. Drone-based delivery systems are there. We can dispense the drugs to the home. And as I said, with wearables, we can monitor the drug intake and we can analyze the results of also from home itself. Home monitoring is possible, and decentralized trials. We have machines enough into picture where just sitting at your home, you can monitor the subject, you can collect the data, you can analyze the data, you can also report the results to the regulatory authorities just with a few clicks. The designs. We have now robust systems available in the market which are giving intelligent algorithms that can optimize very complex protocols and give us the real-time data and the endpoints in a clinical study. All right, we are speaking about the advantages, but what is the flip side of the advantage is, again, there are challenges. During pandemic time, the AI systems have not worked well and they have failed to give us the exact results or, give the exact number of patients who are suffering with this illness. So artificial intelligence is a big game changer in clinical research industry, though, if you do not key in the data properly, if the systems do not interpret the data properly, there is always a chance that it can be misleading you or anyone. You can see a very big picture on my screen. If it is not treating properly the commands, it may lead to a disaster. So my takeaway message is, you have to learn new technologies, new innovative learnings. But again, do not think that artificial intelligence or machine learning is going to take away any of your job roles. No, it is not true. It is not going to take away any of your job roles. But a person who excels, who masters, or who learns the artificial intelligence or these technologies can be a very big competition to you in the job market. So what are the areas that we are currently, what are the therapeutic areas that we are using artificial intelligence currently are especially cancers, Alzheimer's disease, infectious disease. These are the major indications where we are vastly using artificial intelligence logics or the techniques. and they are producing us with lots and lots of valuable data and accurate results. With this, I conclude my my session over here. If you have any questions, please post your questions in the chat box. Our team will be taking those up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya ma'am, for such an extensive talk, and it was really a pleasure hearing you out. And I would now request the participants to put in their queries in the chat box so that we can take the questions at the end of the session. Yeah, at the end of the session, we will be taking up the questions. Moving further on, I take the opportunity to introduce our second speaker, Ms. Alma Saeed ma'am, who is a senior manager training consultant in Clinosol. She plays a vital role in pharma and medical device training lead. She has done her master's in business administration in international business. She's a life science graduate in microbiology. She also holds diploma in medical lab technology and in clinical research and regulatory affairs. She has done various certification courses and is a certified trainer by NPTEL. She is a lead auditor in QMS, Food Safety and Management Systems, certified ICH GCP trainer by TCS Domain Training and Workshop. She has a rich experience in training delivery for clinical research, protocol, safety monitoring, pharmacovigilance, and related regulations for life science associates, investigators, and academics. Coming to her achievements, she has participated as a speaker in multiple pharmacovigilance conferences, conducted pharmacovigilance conferences, and business communication trainings and workshops for 20 years in various institutes and colleges, including conducted PV awareness sessions in several pharmacy colleges as guest speaker, conducted 300 plus training sessions per year, and the list goes on. We are overwhelmed to have such an eminent speaker with us today. I would now request ma'am to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Premlata. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And I hope I am audible to everyone. Very good morning to everyone.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure to be a part of this fraternity today. Thank you so much, Al-Amin College. Thank you so much, Premlata and Dr. Salahuddin. I'll just share my screen, and I would request one of you to please confirm once it is visible for everyone. Just give me a moment, please. Okay. Yeah, could anyone please confirm if
yes,
my...
ma'am, your screen is visible, ma'am. Your
screen is visible.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, so we just heard Uma, Priya, talking about the scope of AI, ML in the clinical research aspect on how trials are conducted, important aspect of, conducting trials, patient safety, documentation, ethical concern, etc., etc. I'm going to speak about how AI ML has become very, very important and how we are looking at integrating this in the very, very important, unit of safety, which we also refer to as pharmacovigilance, right? I'm sure the audience here, the students, the staff, they are all aware about what pharmacovigilance or drug safety is all about. However, I would just like to give you a quick background, and I would talk more about a very specific process or activity which is largely outsourced as a part of pharmacovigilance business, right, from global places. So just to begin with the basic definition of pharmacovigilance, which is coming from WHO, we define pharmacovigilance as a science and activities related to the detection, assessment, understanding and prevention of adverse effect or any other drug related problem, right? So basically this is an activity which is related to identifying, detection, assessment, and most importantly, communicating and trying to do something about it, right? So you try to mitigate, you have to reduce or prevent the impact, okay, that can possibly harm the patient. So that's the basic aim, or that's what we are doing as a part of drug safety, okay, or in the domain of pharmacovigilance. So broadly, I'd just like to make it very simple. See, when you talk about pharmacovigilance, we have different kind of activities. However, we can broadly divide or classify it as a pre-marketing or pre-authorization phase, and then you have your post-marketing or post-authorization phase. Now, all your research related activities will become a part of your pre-marketing phase, right? When you're doing your research, R&D, and all those things, your studies, right? So that becomes your pre-marketing phase. And post-marketing is when your drug has been manufactured, it is marketed, or it is commercialized. Now, the kind of users who will get exposed in the pre-marketing phase and post-marketing phase, there would be difference in terms of numbers, there would be difference in terms of diversity, right? And the kind of medical history, concomitant drug, and other conditions that they process, obviously, because while conducting the research, you're following a protocol, right? Hence it's an interventional piece. On the other hand, when you do your post-marketing, the drug is actually being exposed to a very, very large group, right, compared to what you are testing, or when you are testing the drug in the research phase. So that's how you have your pre-marketing and post-marketing. Both the phases, your activity of drug safety is very, very important. Now, I would like all of you to understand this as a very, very important message. Now, overall, you will see that all the pharmaceutical company, the CROs, the BPO industries, the KPOs, or any service provider that is catering to the need of pharmacovigilance, or teams that are supporting, or organization that are supporting the pharmacovigilance business, right? The most outsourced activity is ICSR case processing, right? So this is a very basic first startup activity, which is being outsourced at a very, very large scale. And hence, for each of you as a student, there is an opportunity once, you get to the market and start looking up for, the freshers or a startup position or a role. Now, when you say ICSR, let me just explain you in short about what is this all about. Okay, so ICSR, this is just a document, like you have a reporting form, right? So it could be some 3 to 4 pages copy, or a document, which is your individual case safety report, and it has information related to a single patient, and there is an adverse event which is reported. So the most important part of this ICSR form is to check first whether the form that you receive from multiple sources, whether it is valid. So these are the 4 pointers that you see on the slide, or the criteria, to be more specific, that once you receive an ICSR form, you have to check, you have to verify that you have at least these 4 essential or criteria, which will make, or which will qualify this ICSR form for a reporting purpose to the regulatory authorities. And what are these criteria or requirements? So you should have an identifiable patient. Okay, you should have an identifiable reporter, 1 or more suspect adverse reaction, and 1 or more suspect identifiable product, right? That's a drug. So these are 4 criteria which will make your ICSR report as valid. If any of these criteria are missing, you send this back to the sponsor from where you have received, and you mention that, okay, it is not valid for processing person, right? So this is a very, very basic activity, and there are higher level in terms of different types of cases which are being outsourced largely from different parts, especially from the United States and many of these, regions, countries from the European Union. Now, one of the activity when you receive this ICSR is doing a duplicate case. Now, a search or identifying a duplicate case. Now, I'm just giving you all these background because I would like all of you to understand that this process could be considered, if you do it manually or in a traditional way, it could be considered as a difficult process or a time consuming process, right? So you have, multiple forms coming in, either from your fax, from your upload, from your emails, then you download, and then you do all these checks, you look it into the database, whether the case is initial, that is, you have received the case for the first time about a patient has, reported an adverse event. Okay. And then you start looking into whether it was reported earlier, or it is a follow-up, it's like a sequelae of the form or the adverse event that the patient had experienced earlier, so on and so forth, right? So there are lots of manual activity that you see, okay, which is happening, or which was happening currently, okay, because now most of these companies, they have integrated, or they have added or started using automation, artificial intelligence, or ML at different stages for different activity, just to simplify how the overall process was done earlier, right? So duplicate search was also one of the important step to identify whether the case is already existing in the database or it's a new case, right? Which is an important step, and that you cannot get rid of. Now, ICSR, as I have mentioned earlier, this is for a single patient, who has experienced an adverse event and has submitted or shared the report. Now, I mentioned to you earlier that you have your preclinical, or your pre-authorization and your post-authorization. So, namely, your reporting would come from solicited, or from your pre-marketing phase, which will basically be reported by healthcare professionals, or like your investigators, right? So these are investigators who are conducting the study and sharing the reports. On the other hand, when you talk about your post-marketing or your phase 4 studies, these could be your healthcare professional or your MAH or non-healthcare professional, right? For example, a patient who has taken a drug from his, prescribed prescription given from a family physician, starts taking a medication, starts experiencing some kind of event and wishes to report. So this kind of event would become, or this kind of report would be coming from unsolicited sale, which is also your spontaneous reporting. Okay, similarly, you have literature, you have reports which come from social media. Nowadays, people prefer, they are all time, on different kind of social media platforms, and they keep, sharing their experiences, right? Also, there are, medical legal cases. Okay, so there are different types of cases, but the very basic one that, you would mostly experience at a entry level or at the first level would be the cases that comes from, clinical trial sources, and the spontaneous cases, right? The ones which comes from the market. Now, all these types of cases, so I have already mentioned to you about clinical trial cases, spontaneous cases, literature ones. Now, again, reading these literatures, I'm sure all of you understand, or you have heard about literatures. These are huge documents, right? And it becomes very difficult for an individual, for a person, a drug safety executive, or a drug safety physician, or a reviewer, to go through this literature reviews and connect what is the adverse event, right? Looking into its causality, looking into the seriousness, medical condition, etc., etc. Again, when you talk about social media, it is vast, humongous, right? It's too much of data. So making sense of, so much of data, there is a possibility that something might go wrong, erroneous. Okay, and most importantly, it is time consuming. You would actually need too much of time, too many resources or people, to just to extract relevant information which is reportable to the regulatory authority. Now, while I am explaining you these steps, I'm also talking about some drawbacks or limitation, so that it makes sense to you when we talk about how AI ML helps, right? So we spoke about different types of cases and what are the difficulties which usually we face in a simple or a startup project of processing a case, right from receiving the case to processing it, doing a data entry, doing a medical review, a QC check, and making a submission to the regulatory authority as per the timeline. Now, this is one very important challenge. This ICSR cases that you have to process, it should be submitted to different regulatory authorities in a required timeline, which means the processing team or organization has a has a timeline. So they have to process it within that timeline. At the same time, the sponsor or the pharma company wants to ensure that their vendor partner or their processing team, they are processing the cases in real time as per the requirement, so that there is no delay in making the submission to the regulatory authorities as per the expected timeline, right? So these are the basic requirement that any ICSR case processing unit under the PV branch would experience. Okay. In pharmacovigilance, while we talk about different kind of cases, there is some important aspects or definition that all of you should understand. See, pharmacovigilance, very basic. It's about safety of the drug. In your pre-marketing phase, when you're doing studies, research, you look into the drug when it is undergoing all these phase 1, phase 2, 3, so on and so forth, right? You look into the benefit, the risk part. Okay, how it is impacting the safety of the patient, while the drug is also expected to give you some kind of therapeutic outcome or therapeutic benefit, right? So when you are processing the ICSR case, which is actually related to one single patient who has taken the drug and experienced an adverse event, right? So you have to look at another important factor about the causality. Okay, so causality is very simple. Okay, it is about how the drug is associated or linked with the adverse event that the patient is reporting to you, or the investigator is reporting to you, or the healthcare professional is reporting to you, right? So there is an association between the event and the drug. Like, say, for example, I take a drug and I experience vomiting or stomach pain or abdominal bloating. Is it something which the drug has induced or the drug has caused? That's something that I have to check or find out, right? So that's about the causality, how or whether the drug is related to the event or it is not related to the event, right? Another aspect of adverse event that the patient experiences, looking at the outcome. What happened to the patient, right? So we look at the outcome. Did the patient experience an event which resulted in that? Was it a fatal event? Did it come something which or the patient experienced something which was very near or close to that? It was really life threatening. Okay, or something like a patient took a drug and had some kind of severe chest pain or GI bleed, and the patient had to be hospitalized for a week's time, right? Or it has caused some kind of disability, or it could be related to stillbirth, abortion cases, or congenital abnormality in case of pregnancy related cases, right? So these are all associated with the outcome. So in pharmacovigilance, there are all other aspects related to seriousness criteria. Then you talk about the relation, whether it is related to the drug or not related to the drug. And the third criteria is about whether the event that is getting reported to you, was it reported earlier? Which means that, is it an expected event? Was it observed earlier? Was it documented that any patient has experienced this earlier, right? So that is on the expected or unexpected criteria. Okay. And then when you talk about the serious adverse effect, then there are different classification in terms of whether it was mild or moderate or it was life threatening. So all these criteria would help a person who is processing the case, or the safety physician or a reviewer, to decide on the reporting pattern or the urgency or prioritization of the cases. Okay. So these are the basic steps in an ICSR case processing unit. The first step is you receive the case. It could be coming from multiple sources. Like I mentioned earlier, if it is coming from a pre-authorization phase, namely it would be the investigators who is reporting, and then it is shared as a bulk upload from the sponsor, who is sharing this with the processing unit or the CRO team, right, who is processing the cases. So first you receive the case. Okay, and the person who receives the case first, there's a first team who will do initial data entry and acknowledge that, okay, we have received 10,000 cases, 20,000 cases, whatever. So they do a basic triaging, looking into the seriousness, causality, and whether the event reported is expected or unexpected. These three important criteria, which is very, very important. And then they write back saying that, okay, we have received this case. This is how we have triaged. Okay, and we are prioritizing this case in this way or in this manner. Then the next step is data entry, where a complete data entry is done. You do coding of the adverse event which is reported. right? It is entered in the database. So you have a safety database, namely Argus, RSG. These are, standard database. However, there are different pharma companies or sponsors. Those have created, or those have got their safety database customized, depending upon what other fields that they need in the safety database. And then you have a MEDRA coding dictionary, which is integrated in your database. This helps you to get a specific or a standard preferred term for adverse events which gets reported. Okay, for example, if it is GI bleeding, it can get coded to GI hemorrhage. If it is fever, it can get coded to pyrexia, so on and so forth. Right, so this step is your complete data entry. Okay, then you have a QC team who will make checks to ensure that everything which is entered in the database, it is accurate. See, this is also very important, right? I spoke to you earlier about manual data entry, manual extraction of data. So there is a good possibility that humans, we can make error. And hence a check is required, which is a QC check. So there's a different set or team of QC team or reviewer who will double check or who will review the case which was processed by the earlier drug safety associate or executive. And then you have a team of medical reviewers who will specially look into the causality, expectedness, the seriousness criteria. They will see if there is any missing information, like say, for example, the medical history of the patient, or say, for example, the concomitant medication that the patient was taking, right? So all these complete, medical intervention would be done by the MR. And then finally the reporting happens and, the case is closed in the work list and that gets submitted to the regulatory authority. Now you see that this is a long process, right? From receive, tries, data entry, QC review, medical, and then reporting. So this is what, we have been doing for ages or for decades. And hence it's important for us, or it was important for us to identify that how we can simplify this and reduce the, human intervention, right? This is something which I have already explained to you. Okay, so now let me help you understand that how we can simplify. At the same time, we can, increase the processing, speed or efficiency after integration of artificial intelligence in our standard or in our traditional case processing unit or team. Okay, so now all of us understand what is artificial intelligence, right? You have heard about machine learning. Uma ma'am just spoke about how ML and AI, they have been integrated into the process of research phase, taking consent, ensuring the safety of the patient, etc. So it's very simple. We are just saying that AI, it's nothing but it's a technology, right? So you talk about machine learning, computer, right? There are some programming, and this will work or help you take decision, do processing. The outcome is like, you really feel that, wow, this is really good or wonderful. Okay, and it's like acting like a human. So you have some kind of human intelligence that you see in the workflow or in the outcome of these kind of activities. Right? It makes use of algorithms, some kind of machine learning, right? And then there are designs to perform the tasks that were traditionally or earlier it was done by humans. Like say, for example, recognizing the speech, interpreting some complex data, taking decision, right? Like I gave you one example about identifying an adverse event, right? Or pulling information related to patient or, patient's demographic, male patient, female patient, the medical history of the patient, or just finding out whether there is a correlationship between the drug and the adverse event that was reported. So all these kind of data extraction can be done accurately and at a very high speed if you are integrating or if you're getting or making use of artificial intelligence, right? Now, the largest limitation that human beings have is, what do we know? It's like interpreting and analyzing large amount of data is a time constraint. That's what we are discussing, right? So it's not that humans are not capable of doing it. Yes, we have been doing it, but what it takes is too much of time. And hence, we have been able to process maybe, only some kind of cases or literature, especially what we have been doing. It's like time consuming. So we are able to do it, but it is just eating up too much of time. And hence we feel, and it is demonstrated, it is seen that integration of AI, it has been able to process, digest significant amount of data in a very quick or short amount of time, and the outcome has been really great, right? So that's how the integration of artificial intelligence in just one step, that's just an ICSR case processing that I'm demonstrating or talking about, okay, to you, has really given a good outcome. Okay, now I'll just take you through some of the important parts or activities within pharmacovigilance. We just spoke about ICSR case processing, right? Similarly, you have aggregate report, there are signal detection, right? Other reportings to different regulatory authorities. Now all these activities, there is a good scope for integration of artificial intelligence, right? And hence we see that now the traditional or manual method of either processing a case or doing a signal detection, most of the companies, they have really started integrating this. And there are some small companies or CROs, probably they are just thinking of that, okay, we might want to do this, right? So in today's session, when you hear about how it was being done, what were the challenges earlier, okay, or as this process, and way forward, how can integration, or how far we have already embraced automation, artificial intelligence, and what is the outcome that we have already seen. Now, need for pharmacovigilance or need for integration of AI into pharmacovigilance is because there is multiple drugs. Every pharma company sponsor, they have multiple drugs for different therapeutic areas in their portfolio, right? And hence complexity related to conducting your research, right from your research, drug development process, and then doing all these phases. I'm sure you are aware that just a single drug coming from lab to market, it takes almost 10 to 15 years, right? And then you have this drug safety or the surveillance part, which is from your marketing phase, it doubles or it becomes very, very huge in number because of the vast population, right? There are concerns related to safe use of medicines. Pharmaceutical companies, they would want to supply, share, and ensure that the drugs that they manufacture and give to the patient, they are safe. At the same time, the other stakeholder, like the regulatory authority, they are responsible to ensure that the safety of the drug is given utmost importance when it is concerned related to the patient, right? So there are different requirements which is actually related to protecting the right safety of the patient and ensuring that the patient gets a good and a safe drug, right? Main goal of PV, to identify the trends of adverse reactions and reduce their occurrence. So this is something which is related to the definition of pharmacovigilance that we saw, right? And these kind of drug reaction, especially, imagine a condition or a situation where you have a new drug which is marketed. What happens? Okay, you think that everyone would be comfortable, or they will feel good, happy, or safe about consuming or taking up that drug? Maybe not, because it's a new drug. There could be some kind of apprehension. Okay, I would like to cite an example of what happened during the COVID or during the pandemic phase. There were vaccines in the market, but I think most of us, we really took our time to speak to people, to understand, to see whether it is really required and we should be taking the vaccine, right? So there was some amount of thoughts, there was some kind of apprehensions. We wanted to see, check, and till we had that kind of assurance that no, this is really to protect us, or this will help us in the long run. That's when you started taking those vaccines. Similarly, for every drug, it is important that you give that confidence to the patient, okay, that the drug they are taking is safe. And how do you do it? By continuously looking into the adverse reaction which gets reported, right? We must mention and we must understand the fact that when research is being done, it is done on a limited number of subject or patient. However, in the post-marketing phase, which you also know, or I'm sure you must have heard about, real world data, right? So real world data or real world study, it's like when you are actually looking at what happened to the patient, and it is out of intervention in their actual life, real life, in the market. Okay, when they get a drug which is prescribed, they take the drug along with their other medication, with their ongoing medical condition, their age, their other conditions, how the patient respond to the drug, and what are the other safety concerns, right? So in short, we are trying to say here that there is too much of analysis that we have to do here, understand how the drug is going to impact different patients with different kind of medical condition, different history about, what kind of surgeries they have undergone, or something that, maybe autoimmune disease, one of them have, right? So in different patients, how the drug will respond, or how the patient will, respond to the drug, and what kind of other complications, adverse reactions possibly the patient can develop, right? And hence, to ensure that all these, huge amount of data or adverse event that is coming, it is processed in the correct manner. So it's to keep up the high volume of data collection, interpretation, and the use of artificial intelligence. Okay, so very, very prominent need requirement of integrating this artificial intelligence, okay, in the pharma industry or in the drug safety unit, right? So giving you few examples of some observed or seen established, uses of AI in PV. So one process or step is case intake, which we saw earlier, right? So now here, there is a technique under artificial intelligence or machine learning, which is your name entity recognition. So this will help, quickly to identify the name of the drug, the symptoms or event outcome. Okay, then there is OCR, optical character recognition. So this will, this is this particular technique will help you to get information from different kind of scans. So, there are lots of documents, right? When you conduct research, the patient the CRF form, the case report form that you see, the scans, the reports, the sonography report, the test reports, the investigation report, so on and so forth. So this helps you to get all those kind of information, right? Easily, quickly, okay, pick up quickly and give it to the system or to the computer for processing or analysis. Data triage, we already spoke, identification of seriousness criteria, whether the case is serious, whether there is any causality related to the drug and the event, and whether there is any kind of expectedness, right? We can also look at, or there has been a process of looking at completely automating this entire process of case processing, right? So automated adverse event detection, this has been done already or has been achieved by making use of natural language processing, right, which will help you to extract information from the health records. This is still not in a very great or extensive phase being practiced here in India, but if you see in other countries, friends, there are lots of lots of programs where there are electronic or EHR, electronic health records, patients coming from different kind of schemes, insurance policy, social media, right? And these data, okay, these data contain so much of information about the drug. It contains so much of information about new adverse reactions, right? And with the help of machine learning or with the help of artificial intelligence, we are able to identify, we are able to extract information from so much of data which is widely available. Okay, and the challenge is these are all unstructured data, right? It is not reported in a systematic way or in a systematic manner, but with the help of AI, we are able to create some sense out of this data. Okay, use it in a correct manner, and further learnings, and then come up with different kind of changes required, either to the protocol, to the labeling, or to any other communication which are to be shared with different stakeholders, including the regulatory authority. Okay. Case report automation, I think I already told you about, automating the entire process of receiving the case, doing the triage, data entry, coding the adverse event that is being received, doing a QC check, MR, and then finally making a submission. Okay, data mining and literature review, very, very important, because these are significant or huge data, and making doing it manually, it becomes very, very time consuming. So with the help of automation, this helps you to extract, so there are some code words, or there are some codes which can be used for extracting specific name of the disease, symptom, drug name, and then you pick up quickly and you are able to correlate and see how it is matching. So that's the association. Okay, so that's how we look at having the entire process automated with the use of AI or ML. Okay, real world evidence, I think I spoke about this, right? So we have to look at, how the data is coming to us in today's world. Okay, there are lots of electronic data, many data which is lying on social media. So yeah, we have to responsibly use that data. Signal detection is another or next level after the ICSR case processing. Signal detection is again a very important activity. Okay, I'm sure you must have heard about WHO, right? So UMC, you have a Uppsala Monitoring Committee board. So they both in collaboration, they are looking into this entire, signal detection and management activity. Okay, they are identifying new signals or new adverse events and sharing this particular information with different stakeholders just to ensure that, there is no unnecessary harm or adverse reaction that the patient would experience. So they are identifying new signal, new adverse reaction, okay, where it was earlier before because of lack of information or lack of, time to analyze the data. Predictive analysis, because, it is all about system and computer and machine. So they have a memory, right? So anything that you feed, it's there with them. And that's how it helps in predictive analysis. Some challenges that we still need to understand, because when you talk about patient, when you talk about research, yes, there are ethics, there are confidentiality, there are some rules, regulations, or requirement which is coming from the ethics committee if we talk about clinical research phase or pre-authorization phase, or from the regulators, right? So data quality and availability. So at times when you receive these cases, or that the information that you receive from research or from spontaneous reporting, I mentioned to you that especially from the marketing or from spontaneous sources, the data can be incomplete or it can be inaccurate, right? So this can cause some kind of error. So here there would be a manual intervention needed, right? So you are making use, or you are taking help or support from the machine learning. At the same time, you have a manual intervention to intervene and see whether it is all okay or appropriate. Explainability, sometimes it may be difficult to interpret the data, right? And hence, here it can happen that a human being or a person using a human intelligence along with the support or help of artificial intelligence, both can help process the data, make it simple, and take decision as per the data that has been presented. Legal and ethical consideration. Now, some of these models, which is for AI ML, in that is proposed to be used in pharmacovigilance, it could raise some kind of legal or ethical concern. So there are lots of industries, lots of discussions which are still happening on how we can reduce this and, still ensure that it is used in an unbiased way and a very legal and authorized manner. So what we are promoting or what we are discussing here, it's about having all this, techniques of machine learning, having integration of this or doing an integration of this, right? So which will help you to ensure that there is an equal amount or involvement of, resources, people, at the same time machine. So we do not say that, having machine learning or doing or with the adoption of, artificial intelligence, like I heard Uma saying that, people are worried about whether they are going to lose their job. No. So that's not something that we are looking at. Hence, we are saying that we are talking about integration. We want to use it as a help, as a support, right? And for that, required approvals are being taken. Validations are being done just to ensure that it is made in a correct use is made, or it is used in the right way. Okay. These are some benefits which are already seen or observed, in the space of pharmacovigilance. It can reduce time, like we have mentioned, improve quality, accuracy. It can manage diverse amount of information, data. Okay, identification of different kind of ADRs, and most importantly, it is helping you to identify, or real-time information, new information about adverse reactions, which is very, very important for us to ensure that the patients are receiving the correct drug. If there are any issues, every concern related, proper, action would be taken. So that's how it is more towards, ascertaining the safety of the patient, not just about technology, but it's about safety of the patient, right? So just a message or a takeaway, like I mentioned earlier, I would like each one of you to understand, and I would like you to leave with this thought that any kind of automation, technology, innovation, okay, this is not going to take away our jobs. However, it is very important that we take correct use of it. We are making a responsible use of it. We also have to look into the legalities, the ethical requirement, validation, right? So that's how using artificial intelligence, machine learning in a correct way, in a correct manner, would help us to reduce costs, okay, increase or fasten our processing timeline, ensure that the safety of the drug is, ensured at every phase, not just in the pre-marketing phase, but also in the post-marketing phase, where you have a very, very large population. And when it becomes very difficult just for, human or just for people to manage so much of data, okay, on their own. So that's how artificial intelligence is going to help, right? And decision making. So in fact, I would say that it would take more people to learn and understand, right? So there are a group of people who have their expertise in technology, in machine learning. So we are going to need, or the market, the industry, they are looking forward for people who has a background of, domain knowledge, okay, research or pharmacovigilance. And then you have to start learning the technologies, automation, artificial intelligence, or machine learning. And then you have to decide that how both, okay, how this can be blended, okay, it's like an amalgamation, and how you bring an outcome which is of human as well as technology. Okay, so I would say that it is a friend, okay, and not something that would take away your job. So that's how I look at the use of machine or technology, okay, with the domain of research or pharmacovigilance. Thank you, everyone. I would love to take if there are any questions from the audience. Thank you so much. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Alma Said ma'am. It was a nice interactive session. The session was good and nice. I would now further request our Assistant Professor, Dr. Premlata, Department of Pharmacy Practice, to introduce our eminent speaker, Mr. C.S. Mujibuddin Sir, founder and CEO of Clinosol Research. Over to you, Premlata.
Thank you, Tanushree ma'am. It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce Dr. C.S. Mujibuddin Sir. Sir is a highly accomplished professional with an impressive educational background, holding both an M.Pharm and an MSc in clinical research from Manipal University. He has established himself as a leading figure in the clinical research industry. With over 15 years of experience in the field, Mujibuddin Sir has worked in various esteemed organizations such as QPS, Paraxel, Accenture, Oracle, and IQVIA. His extensive knowledge and expertise have allowed him to excel in his roles and contribute significantly to the industry. Driven by his passion for teaching, Mujibuddin Sir founded his own organization, Clinosol Research Private Limited. Through Clinosol, he has been able to train and mentor numerous aspiring professionals in different countries, in different domains of clinical research. His dedication and guidance have resulted in the successful placement of over 1,000 students since 2019, making them skilled and career-ready individuals. In addition to his commitment to education, Mujibuddin Sir actively participates in industry conferences as an academia partner. Since 2020, he has been an integral part of conferences such as ISCR, SDDM, and ACRP, where he shares his insights and contributes to the advancement of the field. Under Mujibuddin Sir's leadership, Clinosol has achieved remarkable success and recognition. The organization has received 9 prestigious awards, a testament to its commitment to excellence and innovation in the clinical research skill development domain. As a renowned speaker at both national and international academic industry conferences, he brings a wealth of expertise and knowledge to the stage. With his professional tone of voice, he captivates conference participants, delivering insightful presentations that leave a lasting impact. I now request Mujibuddin Sir to take up the session. Over to you, sir.
Hello everyone, my name is Majid. I am the founder and CEO for Clinosol Research. Good morning everyone. I would like to thank Alameen College for providing this opportunity along with IPA for conducting online webinar on AI/ML in clinical trials. So I'll be speaking about the different futuristic jobs which are there in clinical research or pharma industry. So the earlier jobs were on formulations or productions, manufacturing, supply management, quality assurance, quality control, regulatory affairs, medical information, or pharmacokinetics or drug development, or the project management jobs, or business development or marketing jobs, and sales jobs, and hospital jobs or pharmacist jobs. So earlier pharmacy, once you have completed either B.Pharm or M.Pharm or PharmD or PhD, you used to start your career in production, R&D, or hospital pharmacy, or medical shop, or academics, or your marketing representative. So these were different career levels you had. So later on, we got something which is called as drug discovery, and drug discovery is of two types. One is on preclinical research and then clinical research. So preclinical research is conducted on animals, clinical research is conducted on human beings. Now, when clinical research came into picture, it started with designing of clinical trials, which is medical writing jobs, and then it started with the conduct of clinical trials, which is investigator and clinical operation. Then it started with collection of data, which is clinical data. Then it started with analysis of data, which is statistical analysis software. Then it started with medical writing for submission of the CSRs. Then it started with regulatory affairs. So this was the chain which was being prepared for clinical research jobs. So first, any new drug or device or vaccine or cosmetic product, any drug, vaccine or device or your cosmetic product has to undergo rigorous testing for making sure that evidence-based molecules are coming into market. For that, we'll conduct a lot of clinical trials. So now when you see clinical trials, it's a testing on human beings, and it's a long process. Nearly 10 to 15 years of time is being spent on clinical trials. Now, when you say this word, then we have that first, when you design a clinical trial, the first team comes in medical writing, who writes a protocol and say that, okay, this is design of my clinical trial. Then your next team comes in picture, which is called as clinical operation, where CRCs and CRAs and investigators start working to collect the data, to enroll the subjects, to make sure that eligible subjects are being enrolled into clinical trials. Then later on, the data is being pushed into the next team, which is your clinical data management team. So clinical data management main responsibility is three responsibility. One is collection of data, validation of data, and archiving of data, reconciliation and archiving of clinical trial data, because the data is more needed for evidence-based treatments or evidence-based diagnostic devices. So now here comes that clinical data management collects the data, validates the data, reconciles the data, archives the data. Then this data is being pushed to the statistical analysis team, where they will analyze the data and they will put the TLFs, tables, listings, and figures. And after that, this analysis data is being sent to medical writing team for conducting your CSR, which is clinical study report. Once the clinical study report is being completed, it's being sent to the next team, which is regulatory affairs team. And regulatory affairs team conducts your CTD submissions, which is common technical document. So common technical document is the one which is submitted with your preclinical data, manufacturing data, CMC data, clinical trials data, designing of data. All those information is being given in one document, which is your clinical, or you can say that CTD, common technical document, to be submitted to your regulatory bodies. And finally, you submit the data and you get an approval. Once your approval is there, then you get one more team, which is your pharmacovigilance team. So now this many teams were there, and there are different jobs you had in market, which is your CRC jobs and CRA jobs and pharmacovigilance and CDM jobs and clinical data analysis and regulatory affairs and medical or scientific writing jobs. Then the futuristic jobs. What are the futuristic jobs which we have? Is health economics and outcome research, how the health economics or pricing of the molecules plays a role. Outcome of research, which is quality or QOL, quality of life, imaging research and clinical data science, and the project management jobs or medical monitoring, investigator supporting teams, and business development and clinical data analytics by using AI or Power BI or R or Python, and genomic sequencing, and TMF roles. So these were the futuristic roles. The roles have been changed based on the regulatory requirement, based on the technology, and based on the updated data which is being collected by the clinical trial teams and submitted to the regulatory body. So the futuristic jobs are this for our pharmacists. So now this is past, present, and future jobs. So these are the three areas where the job opportunities are being possibly coming for the pharmacist. So now coming back to the next one, what are the challenges we had from academic to industry? So there is always the challenge between academia to industry. What are the different challenges we had in order to get into the clinical research jobs? Is the technical trainings was missing. The latest knowledge of technical trainings, clinical knowledge was missing. And practical trainings, hands-on training on technology, either it is Power BI or Python or R or databases trainings on CDM and PV and also on medical writing was missing. And verbal communication, written communication, speaking communication, and mentorships were missing. The industry mentorships were missing. And the conferences and hands-on workshops were missing. The conferences were missing.
There seems to be some disturbance here. So sir is trying to re-log in. Just allow us a few minutes. And meanwhile, I would like to carry on with the questions. We have received some questions in YouTube. Rucha was asking about cancer-related research. Yes, Rucha, as I have mentioned, a lot of research is happening with regard to cancer, and we have a special criteria called as RESIST criteria. This criteria is used to evaluate the solid tumors and the sizes, especially when we feed the images to the AI system. It measures the tumor sizes and it also recognizes how much progress the patient is making. So this is where the AIML is being used in cancer clinical research, and we have a few companies who are working in such algorithms, and we have one company specifically who works on keying in all the image related data to the systems and doing data analysis from there. The company name is Imaging Endpoints. You can search. These are the people who are working on image research. Okay. And we have one more question from Pratap. Pratap ji has asked about practical examples. I understand, but in light of the timing that we have here, within 2 hours we have to complete everything. We are not able to give practical aspects of everything here. But we are conducting 2-day workshops on AI/ML in clinical research and different areas. If anyone is interested, please follow us in our social media. Whenever we are doing such kind of workshops, you can take part in that, wherein we'll be teaching you how these algorithms or these use cases are built for feeding the AML systems. That is where your practical aspects will come into picture. Ajay has asked, practically human replacement is possible? No, it is not possible, not 100% at all, because the people who feed the AI systems are the humans. Without humans' intervention, nothing is going to take place. But yes, once the systems are in place, probably out of 100 jobs, out of 100 people, we need only one system which is working on behalf of 100 human beings. So, but at the same point in time, the other area that Almas has referred to, wherein the people who require to feed in all the data, all the algorithms to the systems are very much required. So if we cut down at some area, we have to replace the human efforts in the other areas. So 100% replacement of human is not possible in any field. We have one more question from Saeed Moinuddin. Saeed, I have already mentioned that AI is being now used in patient recruitment, how we are feeding in all the medical health records of the patients from different hospitals, different clinics, and from there, from the cloud database, the AI is reading the patient population, that kind of diseases they are having, and that is matching with the criteria of the particular sponsor, and it is giving the data to the sponsors or the sites to choose the subjects, and also how you are retaining the subject, how you are predicting the outcomes of the study, and you are reducing the adverse events by predicting them earlier with vast amount of the data that is provided in the data lakes across the internet, and it verifies the data and it is giving the input so that the medical professionals or the sponsors team is able to do the risk management plan, and based on that, retaining the subjects in the studies also has become easier. And data collection, we are integrating, as Almas also has mentioned, we are not directly using AI systems because that belongs to a software kind of a area, but we are integrating certain tools in our particular systems that we are using, like your Argus or like your Medidata Rave, or in such systems we are integrating AI tools so that we can fasten up our work, our regular works. Okay. And analysis, we are already using, earlier we used to use SAS for analysis. Now most of the people are using R and Python languages to analyze the data in a more accurate way, in a more robust way, to provide the results to the regulatory authorities. So that is where we are using our artificial intelligence. Someone has asked about the documents that we are using in clinical research. See, we use lots of documents, so I cannot differentiate now, but to conduct a clinical trial, definitely we'll be needing a protocol. Without protocol, we cannot move ahead with the clinical trial. ICF, informed consent forms, and the case report forms on which we collect the data from the subjects, investigators brochure. These are the basic documents that we require to conduct a clinical trial, and we use many other documents to improve the operational ease. Okay, we have SOPs, we have standards, we have good clinical practice guidelines, principles. These are all the things that we use to improve the quality. And for your information, we have almost more than 500 companies that are using AI/ML, that are into AI/ML technology in healthcare. And we have Medidata in our industry, AI Cure, Cure Skin, IQAS, Sama. These are all the providers of AI technologies to the healthcare and clinical research industry. With this, I stop here. I think Mujib sir has joined again. Sir, have you joined?
Yeah, I'm here. I hope my voice is audible, and
Yes,
now
yes,
it's clear.
Yes, it's audible.
Yeah,
Please
now
go.
it is clear.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry guys, sorry for the disturbance. So I hope now my voice is clear, and I can take my session continuation. So I was speaking about the different careers. What are the different careers we have? Past, present, future careers. The past careers are in formulation, QC, QA, R&D, and regulatory affairs, medical information, and pharmacokinetics, and project management, and marketing and sales, and medical shops, or working in hospital pharmacies. So these were the previous jobs which were there for pharmacists. But the current jobs which came into picture are into clinical research, which includes your medical writing jobs, who their medical writing documents and prepares protocols and CRFs and ICFs before the clinical trial is started. And once the clinical trial is initiated and medical writing documents are being prepared, and then it goes for the next level, which is your clinical data management, who does your data collection and also validation and reconciliation and archival of clinical trial data. So once the clinical trial data has been collected, validated, and reconciled, it goes to the next team, which is the statistical analysis team, who does the analysis of the data, wherein the data is being run for tables, listings, and figures. And once the statistical analysis is being completed, then it goes into the next team, which is your medical writing team, who develops the CSR or clinical study reports. And once the clinical study report is being completed, then we go and submit this report into the regulatory authorities or regulatory affairs team. So starting from medical writing to clinical operations to CDM to SAS to medical writing and to your regulatory affair job opportunities were there, who were being there in the present opportunities. But while if you see the future opportunities, if you see the future opportunities with the ease of AI/ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, we're able to change our jobs which are not kind of a regular jobs. It includes your technology along with your clinical research and regulation knowledge, along with your clinical and technical knowledge. So the futuristic jobs are on HUR, which is on health economics and outcome research, clinical data science, where ingestion of data, understanding of the data, and prediction of data, and also analysis of the data can be done easily. And then medical monitoring, that which adverse event has happened with what kind of a drug, because multiple drugs are being used for multiple indication, and there are multiple adverse events which are occurring, and which drug has been causing adverse event, and what is the relationship causality assessment of the adverse event also can be checked in medical monitoring. An investigator supporting team is being checked, which helps the conduct of clinical trial. The investigator is conducting the clinical trial, and the documents like clinical trial documents or CTA documents which are being used for investigator can be easily gained by investigator supporting teams. There is one more team, which is your TMF team, which is trial master file team, who archives the clinical trial data, or who archives the essential documents which are being used before, during, and after the clinical trials. And imaging research, as Uma and other people were saying, that how you can image into data, how you can convert in the scans and X-rays and ECGs into the data, is the futuristic jobs which are being done in imaging research. So this is one more time, which is more important, needed for us to understand about imaging research, how the images are converted into the data. And project management is one more thing, which is a futuristic aspect, wherein we are going to use it, how the clinical trial can be initiated, and how we are able to maintain the budget is your project management roles, which are more highly demanded. Okay, I think I'm having some network issues. I hope my voice is audible now.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. It's audible, sir. It's audible. It's audible. Yeah, we can see the screen now, sir.
And
Yeah.
screen is
Yes, sir.
yeah. So now business development is one more team who gets a lot of business for your clinical trials for companies, and they work on your clinical research, business development, and getting the projects, because there are so many CROs who are working on the clinical trials, and these are the people who gets the business for your clinical trials. That's your business development team. So now coming back to clinical analytics of the clinical trial data and visualization of the clinical trial data, ingestion of the clinical trial data. And we are having different technologies, including R and Python, and also we can use Power BI technology for data visualization, and how the data can be analyzed by using the different technologies. And genomic sequencing, the precision medicine and clinical trials on precision medicine is one more thing, which is futuristic jobs. On TMF roles. The TMF role is specifically or clinical trial agreements or CVs. All those kind of documents are being used in the trial master file, which are being used for your clinical trials. So these are the past, present, and futuristic job roles which we have, the careers which we have. Take it up. And the developmental challenges of the students as of now. What are the different challenges? They don't have much technical knowledge. There is a lot of gap between industry and academia. They don't have practical hands-on knowledge of databases, including R or Python or artificial intelligence, or using of data and visualization of data, or Power BI or GCPs or GLPs or GMPs, and hands-on of the trainings are missing in the practical end. So that was one more thing. And the verbal communication, speaking skills, writing skills, convincing skills, mentorship, industry experts, conferences, hands-on workshops, networking with industries, and interview preparation. So this were all the gaps between the industry and academia. So I would request students who wants to come into industry have to focus on your technical knowledge, clinical knowledge, regulatory knowledge, and technological knowledge, and verbal communication, written communication, and mentorships and conferences and hands-on workshops. Networking with industry experts, knowing about more of industry experts, and interview preparation sessions.
So this will make sure that how exactly industry is working and how industry can be developed in terms of your clinical trials. So now how the Clinosol has came into picture and what exactly is Clinosol agenda to be done is Clinosol gives skill development trainings, including the fresher trainings and experience trainings, and Clinosol gives the clinical knowledge, including technical and practical knowledge, including technology trainings, which are not in the academics, including your Power BI or R or Python or your technological knowledge or latest regulations, including or the virtual clinical trials. I think some of the students are asking some questions about the practicality of artificial intelligence and how data can be analyzed. So there is so much of data which is upcoming and how data can be utilized. So technology has to be understood and technology has to be read or learned as soon as possible for pharmacists. Pharmacists should be adapted to the technology wherein they can grow into their careers. And regulatory guidelines keep on changing the regulatory guidelines, the NDC rules, because earlier it was Schedule Y and we are absoluting Schedule Y and we are not using Schedule Y, we are using NDCT rules, which is New Drug Clinical Trial Rule 2019, the Indian government DCGA has given, and virtual clinical trials, EMA has given the latest regulations, and ICH has given R3 regulations also, which are being used for the clinical trial. So the most important point is there was a lot of gap between industry and academia, and we started upskilling and skilling of the freshers for the regulatory guidelines, and writing and the presenting skills and speaking skills were missing in students and the academicians. So we are trying to upskill them in writing skills, presenting skills, and logical and leadership skills and speaking skills. And most important problem is the industry expert interactions, like how we have conducted. The people who are from industry are coming and sharing our knowledges, and how we are going to interact with the younger minds to understand that what might be the future and how future can be understood about the clinical trials. And industry standards, up to industry standards, always we say that there is 10 years or 15 years of gap between academia and industry, and how we are going to update our syllabus with industry experts and also the syllabus. So this is one more thing which is more important for us. So about us, Clinosol, we started in 2019 in Hyderabad, 22 in Bangalore, and 22 in Visakhapatnam, and 22 in Canada. We are an organization which has national and international presence. We are the ISO 9001 MSME certified and trademark organization, and we have the trainers from the industry, including 15 to 40 years of experience. And we give trainings on clinical research, CDM, pharmacovigilance, medical writing, and regulatory affairs, and also clinical SaaS and project management and HURs. So this is our vision and mission. The vision is very clear that we wanted to be globally recognized professional clinical research organization with 100% placement. The student knowledge of clinical research kind of things. And we are everything what we do, including our academics. So this is our updated latest syllabus. Due to time constraint, I'm not going through the syllabus which are being done. So the training programs are 4 to 6 months of training program, and it's a combination of courses which we give, including clinical research, CDM, pharmacovigilance, medical coding, including complementary courses, including communication skills, pharmacology, Excel, and Power BI with resume writing and LinkedIn. And we have 150 videos access, including hard copy and soft copy materials. Every weekend, there is industry expert sessions and workshops, and 2 years of validity, mock interviews, and 1 international and national conferences, and permanent trainers, blogs, articles, and presentations. So this is the USPs of Clinosol, why most of academic students come into Clinosol to get skilled. So these are the training programs. We conduct online and offline and also hybrid mode classroom trainings. So we don't give admissions for everyone. We have a written exam, and after that we give admissions by selecting the students. So these are the exceptional learning. We have alumni interactions and expert industry interactions. We have conducted more than 80 interactions, industry interactions last year, and this year we have already conducted 25 industry interactions, and nearly 12 industry conferences has been completed in this year. These are the collaborations which we have, including CROs, SMOs, and IT companies, and ISCR, SCDM, and ACRP, and ACDM.
And these are our placements. Till February, we had 23 placements. Till March, we had 35 placements. And we have got back-to-back 9 awards for the highest placements of the students. So these are our performance blog writings, nearly 650 plus blogs and articles, nearly 300 plus articles, and topic presentation, nearly 750 presentations were being given. So these are our collaborations, very recent collaborations, including the companies and academic institutions. These are our conferences and events which are being conducted. These are back-to-back 9 awards, couple of awards from IMA, 1 award from IPA, and 1 award from NEMA, which is National Integrated Medical Association. So we have got back-to-back 9 awards for the highest trainings and placements record. So this is our core team. I'm skipping slides so that we can complete the sessions. So now this is about success story of Clinosol for the year 2023. We had a very nice year of 2023. We had 150 plus placements, including in India and also in abroad. So we have placed more than 140 plus students across India and also in different countries. And we have given nearly 220 admissions. So this is about the unrelieving success stories of 2024. So I'm skipping this. It is already available. So I think this is my last slide, which is happy to answer the questions, because I have some 10 minutes of time so that we can take a couple of questions. And even I think Salahuddin sir has joined. So we can ask Salahuddin sir to give
Thank you, Mujib
his
sir.
valuable talk.
Yeah, thank you, Mujib sir, for such a detailed session, and also telling us how we can approach you and how we can actually join in for the sessions for the online and the hybrid mode. Not wasting much of time, I would like to call upon our ever energetic and vigorous principal, sir, Dr. M.D. Salahuddin, sir, to address the gathering. Over to you, sir. I think there's a technical glitch. I'll just repeat. I request respected principal, sir, Dr. M.D. Salahuddin, sir, to address our gathering. I think there's some technical glitch. So in the meantime, we will try to answer the questions which have come. And so that later on, sir can join us for the speech.
Deep sir, we have a few questions coming with regard to how long does it take for the AI to read the data about adverse events, especially in pharmacovigilance.
Uma, do you have any questions for me? Or
I'm reading the question, sir.
answers,
I'm reading the question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is regarding PV. So how long does it take for AI to understand the adverse event reporting and process it in PV systems? This is the question from one of the attendees here.
Okay, what exactly they wanted to know about adverse event and its reporting system is, what are the timelines they wanted to know, or the process they wanted to know?
Yes. Timelines for AI to recognize the adverse event data and to process in PV systems.
Yeah, actually, for only the serious adverse event, there are timelines which are required. As per your ICH GCP, if it is clinical trial data, it is 7 days and 15 days for SAE. And if it is the marketing data, then it is 15 days, which are required for reporting of SAEs.
So there are a couple of questions with regard to ETMF. They want you to elaborate more about ETMF. Mujib sir, can you hear me?
I think there's a technical glitch. Some internet issues are being there. Ma'am,
I think Salahuddin sir has
I have
joined.
joined. I think I have
Yeah.
joined. So I hope I have answered the question, Uma.
Yes, you have answered. We have Salahuddin sir also joined in here.
yes, I would now request sir to address our gathering. Over to you, sir.
Very good afternoon. At the outset, let me thank the team Clinosol for taking this initiative of the advanced knowledge that are going to be part of the pharmacy profession, or I must say the futuristic profession of the pharmacy. And talking about AI, ML has become more common now in every field, not just in pharmacy. And making them aware to the pharmacists with respect to how the changes are going to happen, it becomes very relevant. And we could able to see the response of the pharmacists who has registered. Hats off to all those who have registered, who are attending online. And I must say that definitely your inclination to learn something new, how the changes are going to happen in the profession, will definitely create more value to the pharmacists, because COVID-19 has really created a challenge, and the face value has been updated for the pharmacist. And now the way we are working and the way we are going to adapt the technology becomes very important. And taking this responsibility, Clinisol is doing excellent work. Mujib and the Uma Priya and Almas, all the three speakers, congratulations for giving the talk. And definitely your talk is going to be very much insightful and a case study that definitely become more important for all the pharmacists to take up. And I also thank Dr. Premnath Shenoy, the president of the Karnataka IPA state branch, for giving us an opportunity to work with them, associate with them, and conduct such a webinar, which has created insights. And I am sure this 2 hours, the online webinar which has been created, has given more insight. And I thank Mr. Mujib for joining to Al-Amin College of Pharmacy in conducting this webinar. The wholeheartedly, the entire team of Al-Amin, the organizers, will thank and congratulate to you on the success of it. Let us create more awareness, more value, and how the future developments are going to happen in the pharmacy profession. Al-Amin will always stand united and supportive in such type of activities being carried out. Congratulations to organizing team, my faculty members, our faculty members of Al-Amin, and also to all the participants who has an inclination to learn something new. Congratulations to all of them. Believe me, trust me, whenever we do activity, we try to bring you something more innovative, newer things from the platform of Al-Amin College of Pharmacy. Thank you so much for all those who have joined and listening to the talk of the experts. We keep conducting, we keep inviting to you. Please keep joining to us. Thank you so much. Over to you, Tanush.
Thank you, sir. We would proceed with our question answer session. Some more questions are there. So if question answer sessions are there, so we would do the question answer sessions. Any more questions?
Yes. Mujib sir, are you there?
I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay. We have questions regarding medical coding also. So, AI in medical coding.
Okay. You wanted to ask what is the role of AML in medical coding?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, what happened is the regulatory coding cannot be done with AI/ML because there are some challenges. As already people have spoken, that artificial intelligence cannot take overall work from the human works because it's regulatory environment. So AI/ML cannot take the whole part of medical coding, but it can suggest us we added, and this is only for the clinical trial coding. It's not for the other of coding, but for clinical trial codings, AI/ML cannot take the whole works, but definitely it can give suggestions to us that what codes can be used for what kind of diseases and what codes can be used for what kind of drug medications. I hope I have answered that question.
Yes, thank you. And we have one more question. What is the data safety or data security when we are migrating the data, when we are using confidential patient data? So what are the regulatory requirements that we follow, especially in light of the newer technologies that are coming into picture? I know that you have worked with
the way
Oracle.
we are using the newer technologies, the most important part is the confidentiality and security of data, which is cybersecurity, and also the confidentiality and privacy of the subjects and also the sponsor data. So in this, we are using two kind of regulations, which is 21 CFR Part 11, which is electronic documents, to make sure that the access is not being given to all people, and also HIPAA regulations for making sure the confidentiality and privacy data is being maintained. So there are two regulations which are being used. One is and also the HIPAA regulations.
I have a personal question that have come to my mobile that some people are asking, are you ready or are you providing any such workshops in any colleges for any students who can get hands-on exposure on AI/ML, in clinical research or pharmacovigilance or data management, whatever may be the areas? Are you willing to take any sessions or conduct any workshops for colleges in this, regard or on these topics?
Yes, Alamin is coming up with so we'll be coming up with more workshops. Already Salahuddin sir is a very active person to conduct such a kind of seminars or workshops, and we are definitely going to give the hands-on. Salahuddin sir already said it. So we are definitely going to do it.
Thanks so much. I'm done with my questions.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot, sir, for being so patient enough to listen to all the queries and answer them in such meticulously. I would now request Dr. Vidya T, Professor, Department of Pharmacy Practice, Alamin College of Pharmacy, to propose the vote of thanks. But before we do that, I would request all the participants to kindly fill in the feedback form before leaving the meeting. Over to you, Dr. Vidya.
Before that, also take one photo of all participants.
Yeah, I would tell that all the participants, please unmute your video so that we can just take a screenshot of the thing. I would request all the participants to come on the video mode so that we can click a picture on screen shot.
Or give them time after vote of thanks, let them come.
After vote of thanks. Okay, sir. So after vote of thanks, all should be coming online so that we can take a screenshot. Over to you, Dr. Vidya.
Thank you, dear Tanushree. Good afternoon, one and all. I'm here to express a sincere vote of thanks for today's national seminar, which has been conducted in online mode. The session started with the first session by Ms. Uma Priya, who talked about the basics of clinical research, utilization of all these techniques in improving patient recruitment and retention, enhancing data collection and analysis, in expediting treatment process. She highlighted even the negative side of AI, which is, again, when we speak about the pros and cons, we have to speak on both. Thank you, ma'am, for your beautiful session. The second session was taken by Ms. Alma Syed, who spoke about the AI/ML role in pharmacovigilance. She spoke about its role in ICSR case processing, signal detection, case intake, data triage, automated adverse event detection, very importantly on data mining and literature review, which is a vast one, and more and more. Thank you, ma'am. The third session was from Mujibuddin sir, who discussed on job opportunities available, and he touched on past, present, and futures of the careers, skill development challenges what students face, and a very detailed overview about his Clinosol research. Thank you, sir. I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Premnath Chennai sir, President, IPA Karnataka branch, for accepting our invitation and joined for today's seminar. Thank you, sir, on behalf of Alamin College of Pharmacy. I express my thanks to Clinosol Research Private Limited for covering this wonderful topic and taking your time to share all your extensive knowledge to all the delegates. Thank you to Clinosol team for the wonderful job. I sincerely thank Salahuddin sir, our principal, Alamin College of Pharmacy, for initiating this national seminar and making this one a successful one. And I thank Dr. Mubin ma'am, Vice Principal, our Al-Amin College of Pharmacy, for participating in this today's seminar. Thank you, ma'am. I thank Dr. Tanushree, Mrs. Premalata for their extensive support for today's seminar. Thank you, girls. Thanks is a small word to express our gratitude toward all the delegates who have registered for today's webinar. Thanks to all the delegates, students, faculty members of various institutes who have registered for this national seminar. Thank you, one and all. Have a great day. Thanks. Over to you, Tanu.